friends. In previous lecture, we studied about definition of pure rolling and regarding that one some formulae. But in this video lecture, we will study about constraints of pure rolling. Okay. Actually, suppose a particular rolling type body means, for example, I am taking disc. A disc is put on the ground. This is the point of contact P, and the point of ground is in contact with P is Q. When the point of contact does not slip on the ground or any touching surface, in case of translational cum rotational motion, then that motion is called pure rolling. Means point of contact of the body does not slip on ground or any surface which is in contact with this point. That should not be slipping. Then we say that is pure rolling, or simply sometimes we say rolling. Okay. If that point does not slip, in that case we will see one thing. Suppose that is center of mass O. I am taking another figure of this one. Suppose that is center of mass O. This point is A, this point is B. There are 2 points at t equals to 0. This is point B, this is point A. This angle between OB and OA radii is theta. Suppose theta. After t time, suppose this point is not slipping, and after t time, the center of mass shifts to this one position. O is now O prime. A has come here. This A has come here, A prime. B has come here, B prime. At time t. At t equals to 0, this one was position, and after t time, this center of mass comes here. Means A rotates and comes here at A prime, and B will certainly come at B prime. Sure, this angle will be also theta. And we can say that A, B at t equals to 0 should be equal to A prime, B prime. Means that is arc length AB. That is arc length A prime, B prime. That should be equal to displacement of O. That is vector displacement of O prime. Straight line distance of O prime. And sure, if this one does not slip, this length of arc must be equal to this travel distance. And this will be, if it does not slip, this will be equal to r theta. By this one, bit by bit, this will be in contact, this will be moving upward and rightward, upward and rightward, and finally after t time, this A comes to A prime, it has moved some distance along rightward, it has rotated some angle clockwise, and now it has reached at a time t at a prime. Certainly, simultaneously in the same way, B will be positioned here at given time. At this arc length A prime B prime is r theta. R is radius of this disk or any disk or any rolling type body like a sphere and so on. And we can write this. Means, suppose I am writing if this displacement O prime is x, so displacement of center of mass, displacement of center of mass x is r theta. What's theta? Theta is angle rotated in time t. This is one of the constant of the pure rolling. If x equals to r theta is obeyed, it means that is neither forward slipping nor backward slipping. That's pure rolling. That's the condition of pure rolling. If you differentiate this first equation, differentiating first equation, both sides, first equation, with respect to t, we will get dx by dt. X is displacement of center of mass, dx by dt. R is constant because its radius, r d theta by dt. And by this one we can have, this is the displacement of center of mass, this x. So dx by dt will be velocity of center of mass. We can have v naught, that's equals to r. D theta by dt is omega. That is the angular velocity of this body about x is passing through center of mass. So this is also second constraint of pure rolling. If v naught is greater than r omega, that will be called slipping, forward slipping. If v naught is less than r omega, that will be called backward slipping or forward English. We have studied in just previous lecture. You also go through previous lecture, you have not still gone there. V naught r omega. This is the second constant for pure rolling. This is also. If this one is obeyed, certainly this one will be obeyed. And whenever you differentiate this velocity, you will have dv naught by dt. Any differential coefficient of center of mass with respect to time will have here r d omega by dt. This one will give you, I'm just deleting this one. This one will give you here from this one. We can write dv naught by dt means differential coefficient of velocity with respect to time. This will give you acceleration of center of mass. I want to say linear acceleration, AL of center of mass. Tangential or linear acceleration of center of mass. See, equals to r alpha. D omega by dt is alpha. And this is third equation. There are three constants regarding pure rolling. X equals to r theta, v naught equals to r omega, a acceleration of center of mass, I want to say linear acceleration of center of mass equals to r. These are three constants regarding that one. Okay. Right. Next thing we want to discuss, pure rolling is the superposition of translational and rotational motion pure rolling is superposition of translational come rotational motion. How? Suppose I am taking the same example here, that is disk that's in contact with this ground or any rigid surface. That's velocity v naught. That is center of mass O. It has linear velocity v naught. Suppose v naught is velocity of center of mass. Here we are taking right one, and omega is clockwise about x is passing through center of mass. In this case, every particle with respect to ground will have this velocity v naught also, not net velocity, but the velocity of center of mass will be given to every particle of this body which is performing pure rolling. So every particle has v naught velocity along rightward horizontal due to center of mass. But simultaneously, every particle is spinning in the center of mass frame. Means if observer is sitting on the center of mass, he will observe that every particle is rotating with angular velocity omega. Every particle at any distance r from the center will be observed spinning, rotating about axis passing through center of mass. Means whenever you are looking, wherever you are observing from the ground, both type of motion will be observed. Translational due to motion of center of mass, linear motion of center of mass, and a spinning of particles, every particle about center of mass. We can visualize this one in a particular frame of reference. Okay, we are taking that. Suppose this is coordinate system x, o, y, that is coordinate system in rest, and there is a part there is a body performing pure rolling. That's center of mass O. I am taking any ith particle P. P is ith particle on rolling disk. This rolling is pure rolling here. Pure rolling. Suppose at a particular instant, position vector of this ith particle is r. Rp or Ri. I am taking Ri. Position vector of center of mass is r0, and position vector of this particle with respect to center of mass, this one, is Ri. Means position vector of ith particle with respect to center of mass. There are three vectors here. From triangle's law of vector, we can write right, r naught and ri naught are in same order, so resultant of vector sum of r naught and ri naught will be ri. You know, ri is the position vector of ith particle with respect to fixed axis system. This equals to r naught, position vector of center of mass, plus ri naught, this one. When we differentiate this one with respect to time, both sides, after differentiating this first equation with respect to time, both sides, respect to time, we can have dri by dt equals to dr naught by dt plus d ri naught by dt. The position vector, the differential coefficients of dri will give you velocity of particle p with respect to this axis system, means with respect to ground, any point of the ground, the same velocity will occur. This velocity of point p. This one equals to the differential coefficient of r naught, means differential coefficient of position of center of mass will give you velocity of linear velocity of center of mass. I will say this one as VCM. VR naught is VCM or V naught, whatever. Plus this one is position vector of P with respect to O. So this is velocity of point P with respect to center of mass. Velocity of point P means ith particle with respect to center of mass. But with respect to center of mass, every particle is rotating, and due to rotation they will have particular linear velocity. So we can write down this equation as, from here, Vp equals to Vcm or V naught, we can say V naught Vcm, plus this one is omega cross VRIO. This one is velocity due to rotation of particle with respect to center of mass. With respect to center of mass, these four particles are rotating. So due to rotation, like circular motion, we can have velocity, linear velocity will be omega cross RI naught. So this velocity of particle with respect to ground or any fixed static coordinate system is superposition of, is vector sum of velocity of center of mass with respect to ground or coordinate system, static coordinate system, plus velocity gained by any ith particle P due to rotation about axis passing through center of mass, this one. Or this is the net angular velocity. This is the net velocity of the particle with respect to frame of reference fixed at ground. In the same way, if we differentiate this second equation, we can get acceleration. Linear acceleration of particle P or ith particle will be acceleration of center of mass. ACM or A naught you can say, plus this one, R alpha cross RI, alpha cross RI. This RIO is constant for given point. Yes. This is linear acceleration of any point P, linear of any point P, not net acceleration, equals to acceleration of center of mass, that is linear acceleration of center of mass, and this is the acceleration due to rotation about axis passing through center of mass. So all three constants can be written down in terms of this one, in terms of center of mass. Again we will take example regarding that one in next lecture. Please subscribe this channel, and if you want detailed study of that one, you can join my coaching institute Kamlesh Pandey classes, and you can write in comment about yourself, your desire to join, and we will make contact with you, and at very nominal fee you can join this. Thank you very much.